So good morning everyone. Today we are here with in order to discuss about the energy fluctuation discussion. So before coming to the energy fluctuation, why energy fluctuation is very important, before coming to that, let me tell you that in last few classes we were saying about canonical ensemble case. Okay, so when you consider a canonical ensemble is said to be having the energy variation, that is from 0 to infinity the energy will vary, and also we say that the number of particle, volume and temperature so will be constant for a canonical ensemble case. That means so the number of particle, volume and temperature is actually describing a canonical microstate in that case. And when you consider a micro canonical ensemble, so when we discuss about microcanonical ensemble, we said that the energy has a slight fluctuation, that is from E minus delta by 2 to E plus delta by 2. That is the phase space and all the discussion and the microstate will be you can identify within a small particular energy interval called delta. And when you consider micro and canonical ensemble, we said that the number of particle, volume and energy as a constant, so which is describing a microcanonical microstate in that case. Okay, so in these two cases if you identify, you can see that there is a similar representation. So when you consider canonical ensemble, the actual quantity that is varying is actually the energy, that is from 0 to infinity. And also in a micro canonical ensemble case, there is a slight variation also, energy also you can identify as from E minus delta by 2 to E plus delta by 2. There is a variation of energy and we will be actually discussing within this energy interval. And when we discussed about classical ideal gas harmonic oscillator case, we identified that in both cases when you evaluating by canonical ensemble theory and microcanonical ensemble theory, in both situations we obtain the same kind of representation for internal energy, okay, and specific heat capacity. So in both discussion, that is in canonical ensemble case and micro canonical ensemble, with the quantity the thermodynamic relation we obtaining is almost same. Most of the time it was equivalent also. Okay, so how that equivalency that is happening for my canonical ensemble in a micro canonical ensemble, that we will be evaluating for in this discussion of energy fluctuation. Basically the quantity that is differing in these two cases will be the energy representation. In canonical ensemble, energy can vary from 0 to infinity, where T is the constant, temperature is the constant. In a micro-canonical ensemble, there also we are interested in a particular energy interval. So, well, let's we discuss about the energy fluctuation. What is the role of the energy? How the energy fluctuation is actually influencing these two equivalency in these two cases that we will be evaluating in today's discussion. Okay, so whenever you have a fluctuation of any quantity, okay, so basic theory of fluctuation, so we can just say that let me have a function f. Okay, so this can be any quantity or a function. Okay, so here this quantity f is actually fluctuating with respect to frequent fluctuating. So the fluctuation, when we address the fluctuation corresponding to the function f, so in that case you can see that the fluctuation when we need to calculate, so fluctuation is basically the difference, right? So fluctuation delta f will be equal to, we can say that it is the instantaneous value, okay, it is instantaneous value minus average value of that function f. So that is a basic theory of fluctuations we will be addressing, and that is f minus average value of f. And now if you take the square fluctuation, okay, square fluctuation, so that is, we can say that that is delta f square. Okay, that is equal to f minus average f, the whole square will be there. So that is equal to, I can represent that f square minus delta f square minus 2f into average f. Okay, so this is how I will be getting the square fluctuation corresponding to that. And there is another representation, that is mean square fluctuation. Okay, so this is a general representation of fluctuation, that is mean square fluctuation means you have to take the average of square fluctuation, that is delta f square, that is equal to, okay, so that is, we know that that is delta f square. Okay, so we'll have let me have a small correction here. So it is delta f square average, okay, plus delta f square, okay, minus 2 average of f into average of f will be there. This is how we'll represent mean square fluctuation. Now let me introduce you that we know that delta f square plus delta f average square minus 2 f square will be there. Okay, so that is equal to, we can say that this is equivalent to f square minus delta f square. Okay, so this is how you will be getting the value corresponding to that. So this is basically the average of delta f square value. Okay, now there is another representation, that is about root mean square value. Okay, understand this, these are the basic representation of any quantity fluctuation here. Okay, root mean square fluctuation. So what it means is that, so you have to take root of average delta f square. Okay, so that is equal to root f square minus average f square. Okay, and now we have another representation, that is we call it as relative root mean square fluctuation. Okay, so that is equal to root mean square delta f square divided by average of the function f. Okay, so these are the few basic theory corresponding to fluctuation. Basically, if we address what is fluctuation, is basically fluctuation is a instantaneous value minus average value, you will be getting the fluctuation. Then you can see the square of fluctuation, then mean square of fluctuation, then root mean square fluctuation, then relative root mean square fluctuation. So this is a general representation of to calculate the fluctuation corresponding to any quantity or any function we represented here. Now let me come to the real problem that is we need to address, that is about the internal energy. So internal energy, it is basically, it is the average of the energy possessed by the system. Okay, so internal energy, average energy of the system, so which I can represent as average of ER. So where average ER I can represent that sigma r e raised to minus beta divided by sigma r e raised to minus beta Okay, so this is how we will represent the internal energy. It is the average of energy possessed by the system. Now if I want to calculate dou u by dou beta, then I will be getting 1 by epsilon r e raised to minus beta will be there. Okay, dou by dou beta of epsilon r er e raised to minus beta er, okay, plus sigma r er e raised to minus beta er dou beta of 1 by sigma r e raised to minus beta er. Okay, so this is how we'll have dou u by dou beta representation will be. Now if you further represent this one, we'll get 1 by sigma r e raised to minus beta er sigma r er e raised to minus beta er into minus er plus sigma r er e raised to minus beta er into minus 1 by sigma r e raised to minus beta er, okay, into er will be there. Okay, so this is how you will reduce the above representation further. And now if we further proceed with this one, so this if you represent if you want to represent this is in this fashion, like if I represent 1 by epsilon r e raised to minus beta er sigma r er e raised to minus beta er into minus er plus sigma r e raised to minus beta er into, let me introduce you representation that is e raised to minus beta er representation here, minus beta er, okay, divided by, so I'm actually dividing and multiplying with e raised to minus beta er, so this denominator will be having square term, so into minus er will be there. Okay, now if you further proceed, what you will be getting here is that you will be having the energy fluctuation representation, that is sigma r er square e raised to minus beta er will be there, and divided by sigma r e raised to minus beta er plus the second term will be sigma r er e raised to minus beta er divided by sigma r e raised to minus beta er, the whole square will be there, because in denominator and numerator we'll have a square terms corresponding to that. So we know that basically whenever you have a representation, that is for example let me say that if you're taking average f, so it is generally we can represent as sigma f e raised to minus beta er, sorry, f instead, okay, so f will be there divided by sigma e raised to minus beta f. So this is how we generally notate that representation. So by considering that, so you can write the above equation as like this, that is equal to, we can represent it as minus er square, okay, plus er square, okay. So this is our dou u by dou beta will be, so that is, then I can represent, if you take the minus outside, so minus er square minus er square, okay. So that is, we know that we will be basically we will be getting that, that is, this is er square minus er square average minus average of er square, that is we will be getting as what, it is equal to, we can represent it as, it is average of what, delta E square. Okay, so dou u by dou beta if you take, so what you are basically getting is that it is this representation. Okay, that's why I introduced the representation. So what is E square then? Er square means that is sigma er square e raised to minus beta er, okay, divided by sigma e raised to minus beta er. Okay, this is how it will basically come. Okay, so that's what I simply want to represent in the above equation. Okay, so this is, I can either write it as like this so that it will be clear. Okay, from this representation I can also write like this, that is delta E square average, that is equal to minus dou u by dou beta. Okay, so that is equal to this, I can write it as minus dou u by dou t into dou t by dou beta as a partial fraction representation. Okay, okay, now we know that beta equal to what, beta equal to 1 by kt. Okay, and t equal to what, 1 by k beta, where k is the Boltzmann constant. And now also we know that dou t by dou beta, what it will be, it will be dou by dou beta of 1 by k beta. Okay, so that is equal to what we will be getting, we will be getting minus kt square will be corresponding representation. Okay, so that means, so this above equation I can write it as minus dou u by dou t into minus kt square where I substituted beta as well. Okay, so that is the average energy delta E square, it is equal to, minus and minus it will cancel, so this I can say that kt square dou u by dou t. Okay, so this minus and minus and get plus. So what is dou u by dou t? Okay, dou u by dou t means Cv equal to what, it is dou u by dou t, that is we already know. So that is delta E square is equal to what, it is kt square Cv. Okay, so Cv, we already know that Cv for an ideal gas, that is equal to 3 by 2 nkb. Hope you remember that. Okay, so if I do substitute that into here, so I will be having delta E square is equal to kt square into 3 by 2 nk. So I am not keeping the subscript kb there, b there, so you just understand that. Okay, so if I do that, my average mean square fluctuation is equal to what I will be getting, 3 by 2 n k square then t square. Okay, because we already know that u equal to what, u equal to 3 by 2 nkbt for an ideal gas. So this I can represent dou u by dou t, I will be getting 3 by 2 nkb. Okay, now let me just come to the case here. So if I take, so this is our square fluctuation, so this is my mean square fluctuation, and now if I take a relative root mean square fluctuation, okay, fluctuation in what, energy, okay, in energy E. Okay, so that is equal to, with I have to represent like this, that is average of delta E square divided by average of energy E. Okay, so that is equal to, I can represent as, this is delta E, okay, square. We know that average of energy means that is internal energy, that is already we said. Okay, average energy means that is internal energy. So that is equal to root, this I can represent as, I already got delta average of delta E square, so that is I can represent as 3 by 2 n k square t square divided by u, already I know u is what, 3 by 2 n k t. Okay, from this representation what I get it is that, so I can represent simply this is root 3 by 2. So when you are taking the root, you will have n, then you have kt divided by 3 by 2 nkt. Okay, from that representation what I will be getting is that which is equal to 1 by, sorry, 3 by 2 and root 3 by 2 is there. So that is what we will be getting, 1 by root 3n by 2. So this is how you will be getting the corresponding solution for this root mean square value. Okay, so what it means is that, so if I simply take 1 by root 3 by 2 as a constant, so this is, I can say that that is a root mean square value, that is delta E square divided by sorry, so it is delta E square average divided by delta E, so that is equal to 1 by root 3n by 2. Okay, this is how I will be getting the root mean square, that is a relative root mean square fluctuation in energy we observed like this. Okay, now what I can say that from this equation I can say that root average delta E square, okay, divided by average energy E, that is relative root mean square fluctuation in energy, is proportional to what? It is proportional to 1 by root n, where n is the number of particles. Okay. So when you say that, you can say that where n is what, and I said that it is the number of particles in a system. Okay, where n is the number of particles in a system. Okay, so it is approximately said that is about 10 raised to 23, and we say that when is n tends to infinity, there are n number of particles, infinity number of particles. Then when you substitute that into the equation, so what you will be getting is that this value will be negligibly small. Okay, so this is root n value will be negligibly very small. So then approximately what we will be getting in this case will be, okay, that is delta E square average. So this is approximately equal to, will get us delta E. So what is average energy delta E? That is U. Okay, so this is, I said that when you substitute n is very large means what, this is, you will be getting approximately this value will be equal to 1. Okay, this value approximately will be equal to 1. So that means you can take root average of delta E square approximately equal to average of energy E. You can take it on the other side, then that is equal to internal energy. Average energy means that is internal energy. So what we observed here is that this is a representation corresponding to a canonical ensemble theory. Okay, so this is we actually derived for a considering in a canonical ensemble case. Okay, so what the difference is that in a canonical ensemble we treat it as energy is from 0 to infinity. Okay, so in order to identify the energy for a specific time or interval, so we have to take a root mean square energy fluctuation corresponding to that particular time. Okay, so what we observe is that for a microcanonical ensemble the energy is fixed, that is the energy of the internal energy of the system. Okay, so what we observe in these two cases, when compare these two cases, that the internal energy of a system is fixed for microcanonical ensemble. Okay, so when you consider canonical ensemble case, the root mean square fluctuation is also equivalent to the average energy of the system, that is the internal energy of the system. So internal energy of the system is approximately equal to the root mean square fluctuation of the energy fluctuation of the system. That means in both cases you can treat the internal energy of the system, you can take into the consideration for canonical ensemble case and also for micro canonical ensemble case. So that's why we are getting the identical or equivalent result in both cases of canonical ensemble theory and micro canonical ensemble theory. We are obtaining same kind of result. For as an example, we are treated as a classical ideal gas and harmonic oscillator gas. In these two cases we are getting the similar result. This is because of this root mean square energy fluctuation is equivalent to the internal energy. It is equivalent to the average energy, that is equivalent to the internal energy. So that's why we are getting the identically or equivalent result for both theories, canonical ensemble theory and for micro canonical ensemble theory. Okay, that's why we taken this energy fluctuation discussion into very detail, because we need to know where actually canonical ensemble theory is differ from micro canonical ensemble, and where it is actually equivalent is coming to case. So in order to understand those two things, we addressed this particular case of energy fluctuation. Hope you understood what is energy fluctuation, what is the reflection of that in those two theories. Now I can say that let me just put into the points. So like we can say that there is n number of particles. Okay, n is the number of particles. There's n number of particles in the system. So that is approximately, I can say that is approximately equal to 10 raised to 23. So we'll have n is supposed to, in this case it will be large number. Okay, so and we said that since it's very large number, so we can say that the root mean square fluctuation in energy will be negligible by above equation. Okay, so if you consider the practical case of a canonical ensemble, so what we observe is that the so a system in canonical ensemble has energy equal to what? Equal to the mean energy of the system that is internal energy U, energy U. So what basically happen is that, so in that case what we say that it is equivalent to what? It is equivalent to, so this is equivalent in this situation, we can say that that is equivalent to a micro canonical ensemble case. Okay, micro canonical ensemble case. So in a micro canonical ensemble, U is fixed, the internal energy is fixed for a micro canonical explain. So that's why we get a practically the ensemble lead to a practically the same identical result in both two cases because of this representation. Okay, so that is the main intake of this energy fluctuation discussion, and here I mainly address it by taking the average energy of representation corresponding to a discrete state of energy cases. Also I can extend the same case for a different density of state cases, that is a probability, by considering the probability consideration of a different energy status, collection of different energy state I can also discuss in that direction as well. For that, so in another way of representation, I could say that I'll be utilizing the representation for a in terms of probability discussion. That is the probability of the energy state, the probable most probable energy state, that is approximately equal to e raised to minus beta e g of e, where g of e is the density of state that we already know, okay, which is proportional to this notation. Now if I say that it is probability of energy is P of E, and where E equal to E star, that is the most probable state we will be having corresponding to that, okay, this is the most probable state or value. And if I take dou P of E, okay, dou P of E divided by dou E, so in that case, so let me just do at a most probable value, that is at a E equal to E star, okay, that is equal to 0. So this is equal to dou by dou E of e raised to minus beta E g of E, okay. So I'll be evaluating on E equal to E star. Similar evaluation we have done when we have a continuous energy state. So in the same fashion we'll be evaluating here as well. So when you do that, so you'll be getting e raised to minus beta E e raised to minus beta E dou g of d divided by dou E plus g of E. So you have to utilize the product rule of differentiation. So into minus beta. So that is equal to, we said that this will be equal to 0. So at where at E equal to E star. Okay. So let me just put it in the bracket here. Okay. So if I do proceed with this one, so I'll have e raised to minus beta E dou g of E divided by dou E minus beta g of E raised to minus beta E, okay, at E equal to E star, that is equal to 0, I said, okay. Now if I proceed with that, so you have e raised to minus beta E on either side, so I can just take it outside. So what I'll put it on the other side, that will be, we'll have dou g of E divided by dou E, okay, is minus beta g of E is equal to 0 will be there, okay. So this is how we will be getting E equal to E star, okay. This I can either notate like this, that I can represent this as dou g of E divided by dou E, that is equal to beta g of E, okay. So that is equal to E star. So when you evaluate this one, so what we will be getting here is that so when you do represent dou ln g of E divided by dou of E, sorry, at E equal to E star, that is equal to, I can say that is beta, okay. This I can represent as equation number A. And now we know that S is equal to, the entropy is equal to S is equal to K ln g of E, okay. And when you have thermodynamic relation corresponding to that, by thermodynamics we know that T ds is equal to what? It is equal to dE plus P dV minus mu dN. Okay, so from that I could represent dou k ln g of E divided by dou E. So here I do represent at E equal to what? E equal to internal energy U, so that is equal to 1 by T I will be getting. So what I basically done here is that I have done dou S by dou E, I have just evaluated, okay, at a constant E equal to U, that is equal to 1 by T I will be getting. Okay, so if I further proceed with this fashion, so I will be getting dou ln g of E divided by dou E at a energy that is equal to internal energy, so that is equal to 1 by kT, that is equal to what? I will be getting beta. Okay, so this is a second representation. Let me just put into the. So in this case what we observe basically is that we could understand that the energy notation, so in this case will be equivalent to, so in both case what we say that E star is equal to basically what? It is equal to U. Okay, so the most probable value, so the most probable value if I say, so that is equal to what? Most probable value E, that is E star I said, okay, which is equal to average value of energy. Okay, so this is how I can also say that your E star I can notate it is came from the discussion of canonical ensemble discussion, that I hope you remember that. Okay, so in that case the most probable value E star is equal to the corresponding to the internal energy value. So in both cases we are able to get that dou ln g of E divided by at E equal to U equal to 1 by kT. Okay, so from that notation we are able to say that. Okay, so here what I did is that I have just taken the dou S by dou E at energy E equal to U. Okay, that is equal to 1 by T, because these two terms will go to 0 when you evaluate dou S by dou E. Okay, so what will remain is that 1 by T will be remaining in this equation, and here from equation A and B we are able to get the same result. How do I get this? Dou G of E by dou E is equal to beta G of E. That means it should be equal to what? We have to take dou ln G of E, then only you will be getting the corresponding result as it is. Okay, so that is equal to dou beta. Okay, so this is how you will be getting the corresponding representation in this case. So what we observed in this case is that when you consider for the most probable value, so we are getting, when you consider the density of state dou ln g of E divided by dou E at E equal to E star, that's the most probable energy state. So at that time equal to beta we observed, and similarly we have the entropy notation we already have discussed it for a case of microcanonical ensemble case as well. So where also if you put k ln g of E, then if you evaluate dou S by dou E at E equal to U, so that is equal to 1 by T. So dou S by dou E means that is dou k ln g of E divided by dou E at E equal to internal energy. So in that time also what you will be getting basically is 1 by kT. Okay, so what you will be, which is equal to again beta notation you will be getting, that is you can take this k on the other side, you will be getting 1 by kT, that is equal to beta. Okay, so in both cases what we will be basically obtaining is that when you evaluating with respect to the density of state with respect to the energy, so we are actually getting the most probable energy state in both cases will be in one case it is E star, in other case it is U. Okay, so the most probable value E equal to the average value of the energy as well. So in that way we can say that microcanonical ensemble and canonical ensemble cases uh, cases we can say that this is another way of understanding the energy fluctuation representation in terms of probability notation. Earlier we discussed in the energy representation by taking internal energy, taking the average of that. In that fashion also we can say that the energy fluctuation in microcanonical ensemble and canonical ensemble is almost equivalent to the average energy of a system. So that is the internal energy of system. That's why we are getting the identical result when you practically implement or evaluate the problems of classical ideal gas or harmonic oscillator problem. You are getting the equivalent result in both cases. Okay, so that is the main intake of this discussion. So with that discussion, let me just wind up this session. On the next class we will be discussing about the canonical ensemble energy distribution as a Gaussian distribution, whether it is a Gaussian or not, that we will be evaluating on our next class. Okay, just understand what is energy fluctuation. What it basically mean is that to understand the equivalency of this canonical ensemble theory and microcanonical ensemble theory when you are applying on a practical problem. Okay.